Yeah, the prophet, he came home, rattled to the bone. His eyes were open wide, and his heart had turned to stone. Women, drugs, and sex, all of the side effect of talking and living on my own.
Hello, everybody. So, it's a little bit of an update. I've been hanging out here in Arizona, and you're actually on the Sony right now, so it's probably a little bit more shaky than normal. The GoPro ended up having to send it back. You might notice sometimes it's like super shaky with the GoPro. That was something internally wrong with it. They're supposed to send me another one. Fingers crossed. But just to show you a little bit where I'm at, we are here in Quartzsite. It has been super cloudy here in Quartzsite. Also with the water heater, being that I've been working out every other day, been running 2 or 3 miles, then working out, been hitting the water heater to take a shower. And what's happening is my system is actually draining very low. When the system actually got hooked up, it was in March. Right now, getting into the winter equinox, there's not that much sun. With the fridge on all the time, as well as kicking the water heater on, and my iMac editing, the batteries have been getting low. Thankfully, we have Jim and Debbie's bus over there, and they have a generator, so I've been able to use the generator. I need to figure out if I either want to invest in more solar panels, or when Wes gets to town, he should be here in January, hire him to help with some underbay storage and just get one of the Harbor Freight Predator 3500s, get that converted over to propane. That way this will still be a 2 fuel source vehicle. And I mentioned that before, having this just as 2 fuel sources definitely helps out with trying to keep track of everything. If I go and get diesel can be used to heat the bus as well as run the bus. Obviously with propane, that will be the stove and the generator. And I'm also considering swapping out the water heater for a propane unit. In the summer, that electric water heater is awesome. I get enough sun, enough solar, it's totally fine. In the winter, it's struggling. And again, the system got installed in March. I'm just now finding this out as I'm getting to the winter equinox. There is the possibility of, going to gyms to shower, but being that I like being out in the middle of nowhere, it's a little bit more tricky. Some people's heads are probably exploding right now because of the messiness, but what's happening is this is all the video game stuff that I actually purchased for eBay. I am trying to sell that online locally, just one big sale. I have it listed for $600. It's like 6 Wii systems, 2 Xbox 360s, 3 PlayStations, probably about 80 games total that I'm selling, a bunch of controllers, a bunch of other units for somebody that has an eBay store and they're looking to just take all this stuff and resell it. I did get a Dreamcast and a PlayStation from a subscriber. I'll show you that later, but I'll probably hold on to that. I've always wanted a Dreamcast. I do love playing video games every once in a while, but that'll be separate. Basically, try and sell that. I'm going through a bunch of the other eBay items that are a little bit bigger that I don't want to deal with. I'm basically just liquidating the whole store. Reason for that is it is a great income. I mean, just today I listed, I don't have them anymore. This is a perfect example. I got this for 10 cents. This is a 10-hour blank VHS tape. It's sealed. These go from anywhere from 15 to 20 bucks on eBay, not including shipping. So typically you can add $3 on there for shipping or whatever, and it's under £1. So things that are under £1 on eBay, you're able to ship under what's called first class shipping. It's very cheap, but it has to be under £1, under certain dimensions. And basically all the items that I'm still going to hold on to are going to be items that are within that scope, that £1, and they're high value. So I'm able to just keep them in a couple drawers, and every once in a while when it sells, I'm ready to go. But I did sell, it was this size, it was 7 of them, and they were head cleaners. Basically they were sealed head cleaners. They're hard to come by. Picked them up in Wichita, and I sold 7 of them for $138. Right now that I'm in Arizona, I'm not moving that much, so my diesel costs are incredibly low. I'm basically spending money on groceries and the little bit that I spend on fuel for the tow car. My cost to live per day, and when I say cost to live per day, that's factoring in food, health insurance, vehicle insurance, every single cost that I have factored into a monthly cost, and right now it's about $40 a day. So that one cell basically equates to 4 days living out here on the road, fully pays for everything, not on top of all the online stuff that I'm doing. So it's just one of those things where it is profitable, it is fun to do, but just in terms of the time that you need to put into it, I already have the stuff back there. I don't know if I'll source that much anymore, but just let that slowly sell out and go on to other projects. But this right here was my little eBay setup. I just have a blanket that I got from Amazon, got a scale that I can weigh everything, and then I can punch that into the eBay website, and I'm able to print labels that I can then ship. So instead of waiting in line at the post office, especially here in Quartzsite, it's just a lot easier to go in there, drop it off, and I definitely learned a lot. And if I get bored in the future, if I want to continue it, I have the knowledge of things that sell. How I found out was essentially I just bring my phone with me to garage sales, and I would just look items up on the eBay app. You're able to type in what the item is, or you can scan the barcode if it does have a barcode, and then you can filter down to what that item actually sold for and what date it sold. So if there's a bunch of them that sold recently for a lot of money and you're able to get that thing for a couple bucks, then it's probably a good buy. And it's just kind of giving people the idea that you can travel around and sell on eBay. I mean, there's an interesting business model behind it, and let me explain. So people that have YouTube channels about eBay selling, once they figure out what's happening, once they're able to provide information, they get the money from the AdSense from YouTube, they get money from selling on eBay, but also the people that subscribe to them will also buy the items that they're sourcing. So you're advertising the items that you're buying, and you're getting 3 sources of income from one action. So if you are thinking about starting a YouTube channel, maybe integrate that into like a nomadic YouTube channel where you're going around to garage sales in different cities and integrate that into what you're doing, because that's 3 sources of new income that's coming in instantly. For me, I'm very blessed to have the opportunity to be making money elsewhere, and putting all that effort in and getting that all sorted, it just wasn't worth my time to do that. And also you got to think about storage. But again, if you have multiple items like this that are small, all you need is a couple drawers. This Wii remote, I forget exactly how much it's worth, but I got this at a garage sale. I got 2 of them in a Wii for like 14 bucks. These things sell for like 25 bucks a piece on eBay, and look how small it is. You know, so there are plenty of options. There'll be a lot of naysayers to it, of course, but you do find some cool items like super soakers. I got this thing for $1. I think that one, that direct one on eBay, goes for like 35 bucks plus shipping. There's just tons and tons of options. And I think the items I will be holding on to is the Dreamcast that I got, the squirt gun, it's pretty fun, and then I got a vintage Game Boy, like the very first Game Boy. I found one of those at a garage, well, I didn't find it at the garage sale. I went to a garage sale, they had some items there. I asked them if they had any old video game stuff, and she's like, well, let me think. They went in the house, brought out the Game Boy. The batteries were all corroded, but I just cleaned that area up because I probably hadn't been out of the shelf in, you know, probably 10, 15 years. Batteries are just totally corroded in there. Cleaned all that out, turned on. I have Tetris and Paperboy on Game Boy that I play from time to time. So it is fun. It's a source of income, something to look into. But right now, I am in a little bit of a holding pattern. My friend Billy from Nickel Handcrafted in Phoenix, he's going to help me do the ceiling. We've decided to go with an aluminum ceiling. We're going to do 12 to 24 inch strips, put a seam down there, and then just cut them custom as we go back from the beginning of the bus to the rear. Gonna have to figure out something fancy with the transition area, of course, but I am excited to get that done. I think I'm more excited to get it done so people stop asking me about the ceiling than I am to actually get the ceiling done. But it will be nice to get that set up and good to go, and it's just not a massive project that's looming. I have Michelin tires waiting for me in Phoenix, doing a collaboration with them. Tony's trying to track down some aluminum Alcoas. He knows some people in the industry that buy and sell those, so pick those up from him. And then once Wes gets to Arizona, the plan is to convince him, pay him to help me paint the bus. Like I said before, I'm debating on underbase storage, but at this point, I would like just to get the bus painted, get that done, and if underbase storage does come on, then just repaint the underbase storage, because the plan's to put a commercial door on this as well, just for safety whenever I leave this out in the middle of nowhere. So the looming projects for the bus, like the big projects that I still need to get done, it's looking like that might finish up in January. So I'm excited to get that going.